Hello everyone and welcome to another webinar session presented by Factana. Thank you for taking the time and joining us in this webinar session. Today's webinar topic is Empowering Data Insights through Fogwing Studio powered by IoT. Here, we will know the basics of Fogwing IIoT platform architecture, the integration between Fogwing IIoT and Studio, dashboard customization features, and also get to know industry use cases among the other topics to be covered today. My name is Bobin, and I'm part of the marketing team at Factana. For those who have been part of our previous webinar, thank you for joining us back again today. We're glad to have you here. For those joining us for the first time, allow me a moment to quickly brief you about Factana Computing and our offerings. So basically, Factana is an Industry 4.0 solution provider. Factana has been supporting multiple small, medium, and large enterprises in the process of adopting Industry 4.0 and digitalizing manufacturing operations. We are a global company with operations in India, Europe, and USA. A quick brief on our product suites. Fogwing is the industrial cloud offering various digital solutions for Industry 4.0. Fogwing IoT platform offers connecting to machines and assets for data aggregation. Fogwing Asset Plus is the comprehensive software for asset performance monitoring and computerized maintenance management system powered by IoT and AI technologies. Extractrix AI is a smart manufacturing execution software for digitizing shop floor operations to ensure operational efficiency, quality compliances, and maximize ROI. Fogwing IoT Edge is the industrial edge device with AI for on-premise data processing. Fogwing Eco is our air pollution monitoring solution, which comes with device and software for industrial pollution monitoring. Mr. Hariharan Ganesh, who is the founder and chief architect of Factana, will be presenting the webinar today. So before getting started, a quick note to all of you. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. You can shoot your questions in the chat box, which will be answered towards the end of the webinar in the Q&A session. And also, a recorded session of this webinar will be available in our YouTube channel. And for those who are watching the recorded session of this webinar, you can post your queries in the comment section on our YouTube channel, and we will be happy to answer them all. So without further delay, let me hand over to Mr. Hariharan. Hari, over to you.
Thank you, Bobin. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are connecting from or wherever you're watching this later point. Of course, we are going to talk about in this presentation, we are going to talk about, how we can leverage the power of IoT to get the data and what kind of a different visualization or data analysis that we can conduct or process through our platforms, through our Studio platform. So Studio has Fogwing IoT platform, and Studio has been there for more than 3 years now, 4 years now. But we know we have continuously improving the product suite. So today we are going to take some of the new features also and how available to all the customers today, including the community users, and how we can how you can leverage these new features for your data analysis purpose. So before we go into product side and then talk about how we can do the processing, so fundamentally, what there is a very basic question that we should understand and answer it first. What is the purpose of IoT? What is the purpose of IoT data, right? So first thing is IoT. IoT is all about connecting to any physical asset or physical things and get the data out of that. Get any data, any data that being produced by that machine or process or object, right? So we can take those data and then consolidate into that. So then what is the value of those data, right? What we can do with this data? So fundamentally, these data are, it's a mine. So where we can, analyze the data to identify some meaningful information that we may not know previously. Those information will help us to make some decisions. That decision will lead us into the operational efficiency. So fundamentally, everything is all about efficiency. So here is some industry metrics that I would like to present here. So there are top 10 use cases, based on some feedback and surveys. They IoT Analytics Forum conducted this session, and they have listed down the various use cases. So there are many use cases, around 10 use cases. There are many more use cases are there in the field. Most of them are industrial cases. And if you look at all the cases, end of the day, either it's asset monitoring or tracking or getting data, quality control, conditions, or predictive, right? Anything that you do that you need a data first to do that. So you basically collect using IoT, you collect the data, and the type of the use cases, right? Or type of the cases, challenges, or problem statement that we are addressing with the help of IoT is more or less relevant to the smartness in day-to-day operations, which we are already doing it in the manufacturing process or any production process, but we need to do more efficiently, smarter, and to do that we need the data. So data is the key that we get out of the IoT projects, right? So that's a core part of that. So what basically, you may not get the result in day one itself, but you need to take the data first, analyze it, and then you need to identify the key challenges or issues in your current operational process, and then you need to identify the better way of doing things. So for that, as soon as you have connected with your machines or assets, you need to collect the data and consolidate the data and start analyzing the data. That's the first step towards any smart initiative. So data is the key, and we need to analyze it. And the core part of our platform, the way that we have created our industrial cloud platform itself, is an incremental approach where you connect the machine, get the data, analyze using our platform studio, and then subsequently you can go into different use cases to address it. Of course, some of the use cases listed here, our products are addressing it, different products that we have which are addressing different use cases. But this is the foundation. Connecting to the machine, getting the data, analyzing is the foundation for anything that we do beyond the smartness on that, or industry 4.0 aspect of that. So Fogwing platform, this is previously presented. If we have an exclusive architecture session that we conducted in the past. If you want to see exclusive architecture session on IoT architecture session, you can go back to our YouTube channel and you can watch that video, and it should be in the name of IoT architecture. So you can get that, you can go and watch it. It has a detailed view of our overall platform comparison and our platform architecture. But today I'm not going to take much time in presentation. I'm going to walk through some on the application side, but I just wanted to make sure everybody is in good understanding before we jump into that. So Fogwing IoT platform is a cloud platform. Of course, it's it's a place where all the machine can send the data, or asset can send the data for aggregation, and based on the data that aggregated in our platform or in the cloud infrastructure, that can be analyzed and further used for many different use cases. In the architecture side of that, I'm just going to briefly go through this for better understanding. So in the architecture side of that, we have multiple layer of our platform architecture. It starts from the devices. We have some comprehensive SDKs and our own edge devices available to connect to any machines. They get the data, aggregate the data locally, or aggregate the data on the cloud. On the cloud side, we have the gateway, and once after crossing the gateway, it goes through the process of integrity check, and then data validation, enrichment, rules, applying the rules on the data process, then gets stored in the hard storage. Once the data gets stored in hard storage on the cloud, then the data get processed by our time series events, and that utilized to present into the visual part of our studio. So that's how the flow is working. Of course, the data can also be taken to any other cloud, any other third-party application through our integration, integration components like cloud connectors or APIs. So you can use any of them to take the data to anywhere, or you can leverage our IoT Analytics Studio or the Studio platform application to analyze the data. It's up to you on where you want to do that. But quick and easy approach is to take the data to our cloud and then start analyzing using our studio. Our studio provides a lot of different metrics for analysis purpose, and you can use that for initial studies and all. So basically, the objective is it's a two different objective. One is on the device management, another one is on the data and visualization. So the audience also different. So we purposefully created our product or platform into two portions. One is on the platform side, which is more on the device management, connecting to device, providing access to the device, providing access to the device and receiving the data, processing the data, storing the data. All of them is happening on the device management side of the portal. That's why we have the portal, blue portal, which is more on the device management side of that. But the data is more for the business or operational team to understand, analyze that. So the audience is different. They are not a techies. They mostly the business users, and they want to look at the data and understand, on how things are happening in the machine level or process level or whatever you are connecting with. So that's why we have a studio separately, where the business users can come and look at the data and analyze it. They don't need to worry about how the devices are getting connected physically with the assets, but they can look at more on the data side of that. That's why we purposefully created the data between the data flow, between that, going through our streaming process, where, we push the data as soon as it's get received in our cloud, we push the data to the studio. So instantly the data is available for the studio for more on analytical purpose. The purpose of studio is to, understand the data, query the data, and look at different dimension of the data, and understand the trend of the data, do little more, meaningful, quick access to query the data. But it requires a lot of technical information to build that. So we made it as a no-code platform on the studio side. So business users, without writing even a script, they can simply create the dashboards, and they can simply look at the data in a different metrics, apply the metrics or calculation they want to do that, and then they can get the data out. So as simple as that, we are trying to make it simple for the business user to be more meaningful to them. If you want to understand complicated use case scenarios, if you're not sure how you can do that architecture, or how you can streamline where you need to process it, the data, whether in the device management side or in analytics side, if you have a complex scenarios and you're not sure about that, you can very well reach our support team, and our support team will help you to define it properly, or where and how you can do that. And that way, you can implement your solution to address your use cases. So recently we introduced a lot more features or metrics types in our studio platform. Some of the metrics type I wanted to quickly go through, because this is very critical for you to understand if you are using the studio, as you pick and choose what you want to do that with the data. So what kind of metrics you wanted to apply, and what kind of a data that you wanted to see that. So it's pick and choose by you, and as part of your needs. So, but there is a set of wizards are available, so you can apply that and then take a look on the data. So here, some of the key metrics that we introduced recently are metering. So meter is more about cumulative value of the data. Sometimes you may have a water flow meter, or gas meter, which sends the cumulative value, but you need to identify the data on the particular day, particular week, particular month. So you can use the metering to take the cumulative value of that, or a particular value of the particular day on that. So from the cumulative value. So the newest record is the latest record, the last record received from the device or the asset. That's a data type. You can simply present it in the UI. And then average, minimum, maximum, it has been there quite some time. You can do the calculation on the fly and then get the minimum, maximum, average value out of the data sets that you already have stored in our cloud. Or you want to do the counting or summing or variations, you can also do all of them. And the most recently introduced one are trend charts. So trend charts are more on you want to do analysis of current data, or the data, that actual data, into the trend aspect of that. So you can also apply that metrics, and that gives a beautiful graph or chart for you. The last one is the table view. Table view is like as it is data you want to look at that in the dashboard. You can still build it and use that to see the data as it is as a raw data. So there are many different ways you can do that, and we are continuously working on to adding more and more metrics on every release, every month, or every 45 days we have a release. And every release, we are introducing new metrics based on our customer use case and feedbacks and all. So I wanted to get into the more of practical case on how we can show how we can do things, but we need to take some use case to address it, right? So today I'm taking up a case on solar energy, solar farm energy, where energy production is the primary scope of the business, and they wanted to measure the efficiency of the production. Typically, the solar panels or solar farms are there in the remote place where where the energy gets generated and that distributed to the from the arrays. Arrays are the set of panels. From the set of panels, the energy get stored, moved into the data. The converters, the inverter or converters. So where the DC energy or a DC the power energy converted into the AC power energy, and that distributed to the distribution channel, to the grid. From the grid, it is being consumed by the consumer things. So so the impact based on the consumption, right? The impact of the solar panel may be because of the climate change, or because of the dust particles, or because of some damage on the panels. It could decrease the productivity or production from that. So we need to continuously monitoring it, but it is remote place. We cannot go and monitor there. So the use case here is to measure the energy production at the array level, not on the distribution level, at the array level, to understand how much production is happening and where it is dipping. Continuously we need to monitor the efficiency. When there is an efficiency slow, right, then we need to trigger some kind of a maintenance alerts or some kind of alert that we can send it, so that the maintenance team can go and clean up or look at the damage or look at what's happening, and then they can fix it, so that the continuous energy production is happening on that. So that's a use case that we are going to take it up. Simple one. So the data that we are going to capture are DC current, DC voltage, and air temperature. Of course, air temperature play a role on the power generation, and to identify the efficiency, there is a formula for us. So we are going to take the maximum panel power which is generated over the time, and then we are going to calculate on the panel area versus standard metrics level, so to calculate the efficiency. So we are going to apply this formula in the data that we are getting. Usually this formula you can apply it in your edge level, and then you can generate this data as it is. The data can be sent to the cloud, or you can also do that in the cloud itself as your sensors or your readers that are controllers reading the data as it is on a DC current on voltage. You can still do the calculation on the cloud. I'm going to show both of them here. So first thing, before we go into further, let me take you to that platform side. So there are a couple of things I wanted to share it. So one is, on the edge side, this is our portal, the device management portal, where you can see all the different menus, options, and all available here. One of the key thing is the device. Typically we call it as an edge device, and whatever different kind of data that you are connecting to the machines and getting the data, you can declare the devices. So if you're not familiar with this, you have not watched this before, there is a separate webinar and documentation available on how to create edge and configure and all. The simplest way to do that is to go and create an edge. You can create an edge by configuring the basic information, and also you can declare the attributes. And once you declare the attributes and edge as a basic one device, then you can come back here and let's take this particular device. Let me show you here. So I went and I pre-created this device already, where I have a PV array. This is a solar array, and from the form and control unit, and where it is coming from that. And then attribute side, I also have the set of attributes that I have created. We have two type of attributes. The attributes that are coming from the data that's coming from this device, which are generally the parameters or sensor data. That's a default arrays, like this current, voltage, temperature that may be coming. But if you are doing some kind of a calculation on the cloud and you want to do some kind of a power calculation or efficiency calculation, which your controller may not provide it, then you can do that on the cloud using our formula functionality. You can convert that data into the formula, apply the formula. So you can see that efficiency formula I applied, and that value also gets stored here. Then this data will be used in our studio for metrics purpose. Very important thing is you need to declare the attributes to see the data in the studio. If you're not declaring an attribute, you will not see the data in the studio, because the studio will not take the entire data. The studio will take only the data that you really care about. Your controller may send a lot of other information related to the control units and CPU, performance, temperature, internal temperature, outer temperature. If you're not worried about that, or your business user not worried about that, your controller unit and its efficiency, then you don't need to pass those data to the studio. So based on what your business users are looking for, that data alone you can pass it to the studio with the help of attributes. If you're not declaring attributes, the data will still come and store in our data aggregation on the device management side, but it will not appear in the studio side. So I have already created the device. The one simple way to multiply that, if you already created one template of device, like configurations for one device, and you wanted to clone, you wanted to replicate that for number of arrays, you can just clone that, and then you can provide your array the subsequent device information, and then you can clone by clone by clone. You can do more attributes as well as the configuration as it is carry forward to that. So I have already cloned set of arrays. So I have array 1, array 2, array 3. But if you see that in array 2, I have not created the attributes, all the attributes required, because I want to show a demo to you. So here we have three arrays or the parameters that are coming from the device, but I need to calculate the power. So to do the power, right? So I need to calculate the power. So I'm going to create a power. So it's a number type. Minimum 0, maximum I'm expecting like 1000. Power is what? And then power. So I'm going to declare the synthetic because I'm going to calculate this, right? So the default value is 0. I'm going to calculate this. So I'm going to declare it, because this synthetic means, it's not coming from the device, but you need to calculate it in the cloud. So you need to synthetically create the data. So now I have created this power as a synthetic attribute, and this will, get, but it will not calculate by itself. So you need to go to the formula and go to the formula to calculate the power. So I have already created a lot of formulas here, but simple method is go to the formula, select that second one. So choose what attribute you want to show that. So I wanted to capture the target attribute is the power. I want to calculate the power, right? So here you can select the voltage, multiply by current, and that result in power. So as simple as that, you can create it, store it. So now the power will automatically. So when the data comes from your device to the cloud, the formula applied automatically, and the power is calculated on the cloud, and that value also gets stored in your payload. So that is easy for you to carry to your studio, right? So that's how you need to create it. So simple formula calculation. Also, if you want an efficiency calculation, I can show that I already created it. So there is an efficiency calculation based on the calculation. We have created that already, and I have passed that. So every data coming in for this particular edge device, the data will be calculated automatically. That's it, as simple as that. You declare the device, you declare the attribute, and then you go and create the formula. So now next, now this is our studio platform. So the way that you can access the studio is you already have a data studio here. When you click on that, it will automatically take you to this particular studio portal. As we saw in the before, Studio is a separate application with its own portal for business user access purpose, and the device management is a separate one for more on the technical user aspect of that, administration or IoT developer aspect of that. So it's a two different cases. So you need to go to the studio to see the data and metrics and all. Now, in this case, right, so here is the dashboard. So what you can do with the dashboard. So let's go back to the presentation. I just to carry that out. Okay. So what you can do with the dashboard. Dashboard is, it's a custom dashboard. There is two type of dashboard available. There is a pre-built dashboard as well as custom dashboard. We highly recommend to use a custom dashboard. So custom dashboard is where, you can go and pick up the, data sets that you want to pick it up, and then we want to present it. You can declare your type of what really importance to you on a day-to-day basis or a frequent basis. You want to see that in the dashboard, you can use the dashboard to create it, and you can create your own dashboard. Every user can create their own dashboards. So it's not like, only admin can create a dashboard. Every user can create a dashboard, and they can see what their priority data that they want to see in the dashboard. So the simple method is, add a card. Each and every dashboard, displays the card, and each and every card you need to create you need to declare it. So once you're declaring it, every time when you're refreshing the dashboard, the data get loaded based on your declaration, your metrics type, your preferences on the data side. So it's as easy as that. Real time, the data gets calculated and presented to you. You can change the metrics type anytime. You can declare, you can remove the card and add a new card anytime. So nothing gets stored internally as it is, but it is all calculated on the fly. On the fly, it calculated and present to you. So anytime you have complete control on changing it without any technical knowledge or without any technical, development effort. You can build it easily. So pick your own metrics, select the time range and the chart type. That's the three key areas that we need to focus on to create a dashboard. So let me show that how to do that. So now we just created the power, right? We just created the power for this second, array, right? So PV array. So I'm going to go there. So I'm going to say that, okay, let's do that newest record. I want to see the newest record there, and go to the select the device. So I am going to, I'm going to select the second device, and then I'm going to declare the power. Okay, so the power is there. And I want to see the last received data in the format of maybe text right now. That's fine. DC power from PV array. You can declare any name on that. It's just to give you a meaningful way for you. If you're sending your device is sending numbers or ABC like that, you may not able to present to the business user. You can give any meaningful name for the data, and then you can store it. You can present it here. So as quickly as you added it, it get refresh the page, and you can oh, no data available. So I didn't simulate the data. Yeah. So right now there's no data, but the data is it shows that no data available. So let's simulate the data so that we can see that. To simulate the data, there are many different ways to do that. You can send from your device, or if you have a MQTT client, you can send from the MQTT. You have a device already, you are already sending data from your device, the actual data, you can still do that. But as for this quick and easy testing purpose as well as demo purpose, I'm just using the simulator feature available in our portal, in the device management portal. Go to that. I'm just selecting here. So these are three device data that I need to pass it. So let's pass here. So I want to calculate. Okay, 50 is that, sorry, I think that's not temperature. Temperature is 90, and then current is around 50, and voltage is around 50 from the array. Simple testing purpose. Okay, now I simulated the data. Now you can come here and refresh the page, so you can get the data there. Yeah, so you have the data here, and you are seeing the data, how the data appear. Let's take, I wanted to show this, not actual value. I wanted to apply some kind of a text. I don't like the text. Maybe put it in circle. Okay, so maybe I put in a circle there, update it. So I then updated it. Now it's get refreshed. Now you can see that in a different circle format. So why it's coming in red color? Because the minimum maximum value that I declared is 0 to 1000. Anything beyond that maximum value, the system will automatically show that in the red color, so that it's quick and easy for user to catch it. Oh, what is going on here? It's beyond the limit that we have declared. So that's how it comes in. So you can do a different metrics. Let's do one more metrics here. Let me take it up and then go here. Okay, let's do comparison. Okay, so that's interesting. So I'm going here and selecting a couple of one. So let's do two of them. I want to compare two arrays and see which one is performing better. So go to the power value. I think it's both the same. Yes, correct. And then I'm going to declare here to last 24 hours in the line chart comparison of arrays, right? So then it's get added to the dashboards as quickly as possible. It's get added to the dashboard, so you can automatically it compares. Right now, I think there's a two values coming. Okay, so I think I declared in two different naming on that, so it's not comparing it. Let me correct that, or I can do comparison of instead of power the current that's being generated by both. So you can see that comparison clearly. Yeah, so now you can see the comparison clearly. So there is a value coming starting from here and low. So this is how you can compare the data between the two arrays, and you can see that in the dashboard itself. Like this, you can keep on adding as many as metrics that you want to add it, or a number of cards you want to add it. The maximum level is 12, but you can declare as many as different type of metrics. There are all the metrics that we have looked at before, right? The trend and comparison, all of them is available here. So you can pick and choose based on your need, your data analysis purpose, and what you want to really see that on the quick dashboards. Suppose if you want to do like a quick cards, right? We are introducing a new model called quick cards. Quick cards are pre-defined. We are coming up with more and more cards right now. Only map view is available. So you can just simply click and one click add it, and that's it. The map view get added here in the dashboard itself, so you can see your map views and all. So you can remove it, you can remove anything, or you can zoom in and see the data. So there is a zoom in is available within that itself, so you can zoom and see its data. So this is how you can compare the data, or you can add a different dashboard components based on your use cases or your needs to quickly access it. Let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so that's on the cards. So let's go on the data visualization. So this is a different view of that. So where you can now of course we know how to pick and choose what we want to see that in the dashboard. But I wanted to look at the complete details of the particular array. I want to see that what is a comparatively what is that, how that array is performing on a different timeline. So different timeline and trends, right? So I want to see that. So there is a deep dive. So again, there is no coding or anything. You can go to the particular page and look at that. There is a detailed analysis view where you can go there and look at every data, every 10 data and its trend by comparing them. So it's a default pre-built, and you can go and pick and choose, but still you can apply your metrics. You can apply different metrics, alternate metrics, if you want to compare it. So there is a quick QR code to view that from anywhere outside as well. Let me take you there. Okay, so after dashboard, next menu is the device data analysis. This is interesting part because here when you go to this, you have all the devices. You can look at all the devices here, whatever the devices is connected or other devices. You can pick and choose the application. So right now I selected the solar farm application. There are many different applications I created for demo purpose, but this is the one that right now we are looking at that. So you can pick and choose. And then or if you choose all, it will bring all the data here, all the devices listed here. But let's go back to that so that we can clearly see this. Okay, now on the right side, you have of course it's giving all the information like how many of them connected, disconnected, unconnected, all stuff. Here also you have a QR code. You can download it and paste it near to your asset or in your let's take you are walking around the solar farm, and you are looking at a particular array, and you want to know that what is my current production on that. So you take this, printing this QR code, paste it near to the array. So when the user or somebody walking in, or your maintenance engineer walking in, they can take a mobile and scan the QR code, and automatically it will show in their mobile on what data currently producing, what is the current value of that that particular array. So as simple as that, you can use this QR code for external access, on physical access from the location without going and logging into the portal and trying to go to a different page and all. You don't need to do that. You just take a QR code, it works for you. And in this screen, you are seeing all the current values, current value of each and every attribute or the data that's coming from the from that. So as the latest record. But if you want to do that, I want to do a little more deeper analysis of what is that? Okay, it's coming like a 25% is there, 50 volt is the recent value, but what is the average and all? So let's go to the more view, so deeper view. So in this screen where you have a detailed view of that. So every attribute that you declare, every attribute that user is interested to see that, like efficiency, power, air temperature, voltage, current, all of them. So they can see all of them in a one single page where they can look at the charts, current value, and then the trend value for comparative purposes. Okay, this is the current value right now. It's around 25, but what is that last 24 hours value? And suppose how the trend went. So what is the average, minimum, maximum, right? So here it is showing average, minimum, maximum value of that particular efficiency, right? For this particular array. So this is the array that I'm seeing here, and this is the efficiency and the average of that. But I don't want average. I want to see something else. So I can go and edit it. Instead of average, I want to see that median values. Okay, let's say that I want to see the median. Update it. So you will see the, as soon as you apply this, you will see the median value coming here by comparing with all the data sets, how the range is going up and then coming value. So you can apply that based on the metrics types. So you can do that, or you want to change the chart. You don't like this chart, you want to change the chart, and you can go and select the area chart for that, and then you are seeing this. So this become concrete here, and you can say that, oh, let's take a look at 7 days. You can just simply refresh it and it will give you the 7 days. I don't have much data here in this PV because it's a newly created one for the demo purpose. But once you have a data, it just gives all the data in the 7 days, 30 days, 12 months, whatever period that you want to look at the data. So as similarly, you can apply different metrics at the different level. Let's take, for power, I wanted to have a different one. I wanted to have a some value, okay, because I want to understand, how it is producing per day. So again, some value, like how much production happened today in a particular day. It basically goes on 7-day basis. I can see that okay, today this much, what is how much we have created, our production happened today. So I can simply change that value and look at what is that some value or average value or the trend value. So depends upon what you want to see that on that. And this will become concrete. You don't need to, it gets stored. After that, every time you will come to this page, it just populate the same data again and again as per your preferences, your way of looking at that. So every arrays you can look at and understand how things are happening at the different level based on your input, your analysis. Suppose if you're not, none of them is fixing for your need or your requirement. You wanted to see something different way, right? Then you go to Data Explorer. There is a feature called Data Explorer. So go here and select that date range and compare with the two. Let's take, I want to compare with the two of them, and then I select the current, and then I search it. So what happens, it brings the data by comparing with that, and it brings the data. So here you can apply a different use case, or if you're looking at a particular value, let's take, I am looking at a particular value on that, you can even search on that. From here, you can also export as a data. So because whatever the table that we are displaying here, that values, those things will come and export it as a file to you. So you can simply use the Data Explorer to query your data and see what data I wanted to see, that how the metrics are calculated on that. But you can, in the real-time basis, and also you can do other things also. So if you're not satisfied with that and you want a simple query format, then you can come here and look at the data as well. The other one also useful to many of the customers are the control panel. So which is more like a refreshing, because whenever you wanted to, let's take, I have a display, a larger display in my control room. I wanted to see the current trend on that. I don't want to go to the browser and refreshing the browser again and again. So you can do one thing, you can select, let's take, I want to select this PV2 and then power, right? I want to save it here. So as soon as you can add a card, that value gets generated. You put it in a full screen mode. So when you put it in the full screen mode, automatically the screen, it gets loaded into the full screen mode, and then it gets refreshed every 2 minutes once, based on your data. Then every card will get refreshed on that. That's a simple way to put it in the control panel and show the display it in the control room and all. I think that's it. Let me go back to that. Okay, so I think we have seen this feature, and then next important thing that we wanted to talk today is the third-party access. So one of the common question asked by from a customer to us is, how can I give the access to my customers or my partner or my service provider? Because I have solar panel, I have the solar array farm, and I have asked somebody third party to come and do the maintenance of cleaning up the panels and the things frequently, so they can, the efficiency is always there. But I wanted to give access to them so that they can also access the data that I am looking at that. So such use cases, you can use our third-party access feature available in the studio, because your third party will not worry about how you are connecting on the devices. They are more worried about your data. So they want access to the data, so they need a studio level access. So this is exclusively created in the studio level, where you can go to the studio and create a guest account for your third-party access purpose. And then once you have the guest account, then you can specify which device they can get access or device data they can see that. And then you can also allow them or customize the dashboard, or you don't allow them to see the dashboard. Suppose if it is a customer where you want to simplify it for your customer and you don't want them to customize and all, they don't know how to do the dashboard and all, you can create a dashboard as admin, and you can give access to, you can set that dashboard to your customer, so they will come and they will see the dashboard directly. They will not have any access to customize it. They just see the dashboard there. So that kind of controls you have. And also you can add as many number of users you want it. There is no user restriction in our platform. As long as you have subscribed, you have unlimited user access to the system. So you can add n number of customers, partners, service providers, depends upon your need. So let's go back to the system studio. To do the to do the guest access, go to the settings, go to the guest first, where you need to declare the guest account. So let's take, I'm declaring a guest account as a PV maintenance team. So location is Austin. Okay, so then I'm going, number of devices is 3. Okay, let's say that. So I'm giving these 3 devices that they can access it. Allow custom dashboard, we can say that, or or they can add their own users. It depends on that. If you enable this option, they become a subtenant, and they can have their own user group. They can give access to their own people. So you want to control it, or you want to give a control to them, it depends on that. You can pick and choose on that. So now I have declared this guest account, and go back to the settings, go to the users, and invite the first user. So basically you are going to invite the first user. So here you have a guest user, and then you need to, we can give that test at pvtest.com, just to give a sample one. User role is guest account admin. So this is the first user I'm giving. So they are PV maintenance team. So that's it. So I'm giving a name. Let's take Tom. So I'm giving that. So this is the user, I'm creating it. So as soon as you create the user receives their email that they have account access and they have a credentials. You don't need to declare any credentials here. You cannot submit any credential here. They will get a system will generate automatic credential and pass it to them. So once you declare that, they become user here, and they can access the portal directly, and they can add users. So let's take, now I'm going to look at that. So yeah, so Tom Benz is added as a guest account for this particular one. So they are able to access that. That's it. So that's the level, you can add it. Now, user can add it, and they can come. When they're coming, they will see the dashboard based on the device that you have provided. Not all the devices. Based on the device you have provisioned to them, they can see the data here. and they will come, they will see the dashboard. They will not have any button like add card or anything like that because they cannot customize it. We have restricted it already. That's how it works. And you can provide access to third parties easily. Okay, I think we're going to the closing session. Before that, so we already have, as I discussed, we are having a continuous releases. We are continuously improving based on our customer feedback, based on some customer coming and asking some kind of a use case, and they are talking about some need which we may, if our product is not addressing it or not providing that, and we can add into our product roadmap, and then we can implement. So it's customer driven. So you drive the journey of this product feature, and based on customer feedback only, we are adding it. And some of them we feel that it's good to have, so we add all together in the product roadmap. So upcoming features in this year, it's not the end, so there are still some more list is there, and we are yet to finalize that. But as of now, we have finalized certain level of features. Boolean metrics most commonly asked, so they are looking for switch based model, so we are working on that, on the Boolean metrics right now. And probably in the next release by end of this month or early next month, we should have the Boolean metrics also supported by our studio. And there are requirements for automated reporting, so people can send automated reporting to us through our reporting feature. So reporting feature is available here, so just a quick view on that. Go to settings, and then you have custom reports, or you can access directly here. So I already created a report here. So again, here when you want to add a report, you have to select the application, device, and what are the devices you want in the report, and the attribute. Let's take it, I want a PV efficiency, and then time range. So based on that, or you want some of the values on that, so it calculates on that, and then it sends you, you save it as a report. Let's take now, this is a PV report. You save it. So once the template is defined, this is basically template. You created a template. Now you can go anytime, you can go and generate it. It automatically creates a based on your formula that you have defined it. It creates a report in CSV format. You can use that for your reporting purpose. And we are working on to convert this into PDF format and automating it fully. Fully automated means it's sent by email on a frequent basis and all. We are working on that feature right now. The other most common thing asked is the free form submission. Some of the customers asked, they wanted to have a free form submission where, they can come and put some kind of data sets into the system. So for analysis purpose, which are manually done by the field engineers when they go to the field and they're seeing something and they want to put it in the system. So it's also get added into their overall data. So it's data consolidation, right? So any machine data as well as human entry, all of them is coming together, and then they can cross comparing that data and then take some corrections. So there are some use cases shared with us which require a free form data submission. We are working on that. Tablet app, we are working on that. And finally, the formula. We saw that the formula function, how the formula works in the device management portal, but we wanted to give that feature also to the business user so they can also apply some formulas. So we are working on that feature also, which will be coming in the subsequent releases. That's how we are working on right now. If you have any comments or anything that you want to see it in our product, you can please put a note on us, or you can send a support ticket, or you put it in our channel or wherever you are watching. We are tracking all of them, and we take your input, and then we will add into our list if it is valid and applicable to all users. That's it. I think we have presented what we want to present today. Over to you, Bobby.
Thank you, Hari, for the deep insights. And we have a few questions now. I will be reading them one by one, and then you can respond to them. So on to the first question. Is the studio a separate product that we should purchase?
No, it's part of the platform. So if you are even community user, they have access to the studio. So you subscribe to the platform, and the studio is completely free for you.
Okay. On to the next question. How frequently can we generate the metrics dashboard?
You can do any frequently because it's a live streaming data. Live streaming, the data moves from between the portal on a real-time basis, and based on your requirements, you can anytime you can generate it. As we shown in the demo, it's automatically created by itself. So on real-time basis, so you can go and change it anytime in the metrics type, and instantly that metrics apply to the data, and then you get the new results on that.
Okay. On to the third question. Is there any graphical display apart from chart?
We are working. Right now we are in the early stage. Charts are the most common, and text type, chart type, and different type of charts are there. There are area chart, line chart, and different type of charts are there. So these are all useful for our customers, and now we are getting some kind of feedback from some of the customers that they wanted to have some kind of icons on that. So like indicating, like a temperature means temperature icon. So they want to display the icons on that as well. So we are working on collecting those data, and we need to put it in the roadmap. Probably, we will address that in the subsequent releases. Right now, we are in the early stage of collecting, how exactly the users are looking for those data. So we are waiting for a few more feedback, and then we will add it into the roadmap, and we will release it to the future.
Okay, great. So that was all the questions we had. Thank you, Hari, for answering all the questions. I hope it was helpful for all who have asked and for others as well. Now, I think it's time to wind up the webinar. So before winding up, I would like to bring in notice that we have an upcoming webinar. The topic is harnessing IoT and AI for efficient maintenance services. So those people who are interested in watching this webinar can register yourself, and it will be an insightful webinar which is coming up next week. So stay tuned for that. And also, as always, we would be posting the recorded session of this webinar on a Factana YouTube channel. So you can check out this as well as our previous webinar sessions on our YouTube channel. And for those who are seeking more insights on IIoT, Industry 4.0, Smart Factory, you can check our blog section by visiting www.fogwing.io/blogs and start exploring. And also, if you are looking at any collaborations, you can reach out to us on sales@factana.com. So that's all for today. Once again, thank you for joining this session and making it